to Peoria Connections. I'm Scott Soldat, CEO at the Peoria Chamber, and today we're filming our show outside. Our guests here today are from In a Minute Mobile Oil Change Service, and this is Mike and Delano, co-owners of the company. So I understand mobile oil change businesses are growing in popularity in the United States. Could you tell us a little bit about yours?
Well, actually, the mobile oil change business has been around even in the Phoenix area for a number of years. They have not been really popular with the homeowners or busy executives and that until we came along, because that's what our service is for, a lot of it. It's been usually confined to commercial fleets.
Okay.
So a lot of people didn't know about it until we started publicizing our company.
Great. So you've been in business now for about how long?
Since March 4th of this year.
Excellent. And you have technicians who are trained and have industry experience who work for you?
That's correct. Actually, my partner Delano has been several years in the fixed locations and as a manager of those, as well as experience as a roadside technician on a roadside service.
Great. So I'm sure customers ask you questions like, do you have to lift up my car? How much does it cost? Can you handle any car? How do you handle some of those?
Well, actually, first of all, we can handle virtually any car.
Wow.
We run them through a computer system that tells us about the vehicle, what kind of oil and how much that they actually use. We don't go underneath the vehicle except to change the oil filter.
Okay.
Our oil is extracted from on top of the engine.
Right from the top?
Right from the top, out of the dipstick tube. Awesome. With our friend Barney, the oil extraction unit.
Barney's got a net.
Barney's my buddy that extracts the oil. He's air operated, and he gets down and gets all of the oil and sludge and things out of the pan. So it's a very clean, very efficient service. As far as jacking the car up, if we have to rotate tires, and occasionally if you pull up with a little small sports car, we're going to have to, obviously, if we do have to get under the vehicle, then we'll have to jack the car up, but that's the only time we get under it.
And the price point starts around?
Price point starts around $40.
Okay.
And it fluctuates depending on what kind of car you have, how much oil, and what kind of oil you use in it. Now with us, we only use a synthetic blend or a synthetic oil, but synthetic oil is more expensive than synthetic blend. Some take 6 quarts, some take 7, some take 5, so it varies.
Great. So customers call you, you get all that information over the phone, and then you schedule an appointment and come out and change their oil.
That's correct.
And it takes about 20 minutes.
Roughly about 20 minutes, up to a half hour for doing a tire rotation. We also have some other services we do, and it all depends on what the customer asks, but oil change is basically 20 minutes.
Excellent. And we're doing a demonstration today.
That is correct.
We're actually going to start, and you're going to talk a little bit about the equipment and the things that are happening.
Right. We'll explain basically what he's doing, what he goes through. And it's pretty much going to be recognizable because it's going to be about the same as you see if you went to a fixed location.
Okay, excellent. Are we ready to get started?
Anytime. Now, for convenience on this car, for all you automobile buffs, we have already removed the skid plate. We know that some vehicles have skid plates, we have to take them off, but we've already removed it just to be prepared for him to be able to show what's going on. Now this, of course, most of these a lot of them are spin-on filters. If we have a cartridge filter, many of those are located on top of the engine, some of the newer cars.
Okay.
So we don't have to get under the vehicle at all.
So
change the cartridge right on top, makes it a little bit easier. Now Barney is an air-operated oil extraction unit, and he's sticking what we refer to as a stinger down into the dipstick, and this goes all the way down to the crankcase. You got to decide which one goes in there because dipsticks are a little different.
So how long has the mobile oil change industry been in existence?
You know, it's been in existence for a long time. There's over 8,000 of them in the country, coast to coast.
And what state probably has the most, would you say?
I would say probably areas like Florida, Georgia, down in that part of the country, California. There's quite a few in those areas.
But it's growing in Arizona? It's
starting to go in Arizona, although it's been around in Arizona for quite a while. It just has been confined predominantly to commercial fleets. So people have not been aware of it, and I get that all the time. You know, I tell people what we do, and they look at me like, and now what he's done, he started the oil extraction unit, and you see the oil is coming out through this tube here. Okay, this is air operated, this is Barney, and he started topping off the fluids. Now he'll top off the fluids, just, excuse me, make sure that they're up where they're supposed to be.
How did you come up with the name Barney?
He's a vampire, he sucks out oil, what else? Happy Halloween, guys. Now, the only fluid we will not top is brake fluid. We'll tell the customer, unless the customer tells us they absolutely want us to, we'll tell the customer they're low, because with a low brake fluid, that could indicate that they have a brake problem. They have a leak, they have need to be going on to a shop and have their brakes checked, any number of things.
Sure.
So unless the customer is adamant and says, fill it up, we will not fill up the brake fluid.
Okay.
Okay. Other than that, we'll pretty much fill everything else up, make sure everything is okay, which is what he's just finishing up to doing now. Following this procedure, still while Barney is extracting, he will begin to check the air filter, the battery, he'll check the hoses, he'll check the belts, he'll check the windshield wipers. What he's doing now is he's checking the air pressure and condition of the tires all the way around,
Okay.
which would have been normally the last step that he would take. But that's all. When the oil is extracted, we got it all out of there, as he will come down and he will put oil in the vehicle.
So Mike, how do customers hear about you?
Word of mouth, advertising,
Okay.
referrals from other folks like through the chamber.
And when they call, how quickly can you schedule an appointment?
Well, usually you call me today, I'm there tomorrow. Sometimes
Okay.
you call me today, I'm out, I go today.
Mike, thanks so much for being on the show today and showing us how In a Minute Services provides mobile oil changes.
Well, thank you for having us, Scott. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for watching Peoria Connections. Outside.